Hello, welcome to another recording of Stretch, Lengthen, and Release. So this class is all about getting into our low back, but as you may know, the low back connects or is also influenced by our core, our front of our body, so our quads and our psoas and hip flexors here. If that's tight, it's pulling us in, lengthening our low back, which can be overstretched and weakened, or our hamstrings and our glutes can be tight, which we arch back, which again shortens instead of lengthens, shortens our low back, which can also cause a lot of tension. So to give you an idea of where we're headed to all those places that influence our low back as well as our low back. So to begin, let's lie down. Have some blocks near you just in case, but also there's a couple poses that we will be using these lovely blocks. So let's make our way down to the mat and get into our yoga flow. I'm going to take a moment to, as always, connect in with your breath. Filling up the belly, filling up the lungs, gentle pause at the top. And exhale, letting it all go, double empty at the bottom. Creating space for that new, cleansing, purifying breath. And as you do connect with that breath of yours, take a moment to get nice and comfy on your mat. If that's getting some of the snap, crackles, and pops out of your toes, fingers, or shifting side to side to make sure that your hips and glutes feel comfortable on your mat, as well as all the way down to those toes, making sure that you get those shifts and movements out of the way to truly rest and calm into your mat, into your breath, your body, and your mind. Tuck those shoulder blades underneath to allow that chest to open, the shoulders to naturally fall open and down towards your mat. From this place of stillness, let's go ahead and center ourselves on an intention of your choice, something you want to focus on for the week, today, just for this moment on your mat. Whatever it is, let it fill you, as always, from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, and let it be something that you can draw on for the rest of, again, the practice, the day, or the week. And honor it with 3 breaths. We'll find some movement next. On your inhale, take your hands back behind you. Point your toes to the front of the mat. Deep, long, body stretch. And on your exhale, walk your ankles over to the right. Cross your left over top. Gently tug your left arm over to the right side. Inhale, come back through center. And on your exhale, walk your ankles over to that left side. Grab a hold of your right wrist gently and pull to the left. Inhale, come back through center. And on your exhale, walk your heels to your sit bones. Windshield wiper your arms back down by your side body. We'll take some side to sides here, dropping our knees to one side, looking to the opposite direction. So on your exhale, knees drop to one side, gaze in the opposite. Following your breath, inhale, coming back. Exhale, switch directions. And continue to flow here at your own pace. And we'll take one more in each direction. And bringing the knees back to center on that next inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees, releasing the back of the neck. Inhale, lower your head down. From here, take your hands to your knees, big toes to touch. Open up your knees to all four corners of the room. One more circle in this direction. Once the knees come back to center, gently switch. One more circle. Bringing the knees back to center on your inhale, drop the heels back down to the sit bones. We'll move into some bridge postures on your inhale, lifting up your hips. Engage the inner thighs, engage the glutes to lift them up off the mat. Hanging here, holding for a few breaths. And inhale, lower down the hips. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Option to bring the forehead to your knees. And inhale, lower the head as well as those heels down to the sit bones. We'll take two more of this series. On the next inhale, lift up your hips. Shimmy side to side to really get up onto those shoulders if you want to lift those hips higher into the bridge. Again, squeezing the inner thighs, squeezing the glutes. Engage the posterior chain. And inhale, we'll go ahead and lower those hips down. Exhale, curls the knees into center. Bringing your forehead to match. Giving yourself a nice little bear hug, releasing the back of the neck and just gently opening and releasing the glutes as well. And inhale, lower the head down as well as those heels, and we'll take one more bridge posture. When you're ready, next inhale, lifting up the hips. Again, shimmy onto those shoulders if that feels good. You can also take a bind, interlacing your fingers at the base of the sacrum, and roll even more up onto those arms. Engaging the inner thighs, engaging the glutes as always, making sure the knees and toes face forward. Nice job. Next inhale, release that bind, drop the hips to the mat. Exhale, curl in, bring your knees to chest, forehead to knees. Releasing the back of that neck. And inhale, lower the head down along with those heels. Take our supine pigeon. On that exhale, cross the right ankle over that left knee, open into this nice figure four. And on your exhale, bring those shins to your chest. Allow your hands to wrap around the front of that left knee. Pull the left knee closer to the chest for a little bit more depth. On your next inhale, slowly allow that left knee to come down to your mat. Hang here in this nice figure four with your crossed ankle. And on your next inhale, unravel. Give your toes a nice little tap. I'll take this on the other side. Crossing your left ankle over the right, allowing this hip to open first. Pulling that knee, the left knee, away from the hip. And then on your exhale, bring both shins towards the chest. Reach around, grab a hold of that right knee to bring it closer to your chest to, again, deepen the stretch in our supine pigeon. Continue to center into your breathing, your intention, wherever you are showing up on your mat. It's a beautiful place to surrender and sink in, knowing my body is different today than it was yesterday and even this morning or evening. So honoring that difference in your own body and just tuning and surrendering in to wherever you are right here, right now, as it is exactly where you are meant to be. So keep breathing. And on your next inhale, slowly allow that right heel to make contact with your mat. Stay here in this nice figure four for a breath. And unravel that top left leg. Give your toes a nice little shake. From here, we'll move into our supine butterfly. Target a little of those inner thighs. Bottoms of the feet together, knees gently open out. Take a moment here to really breathe in. Hands can rest down by your side, palms facing up, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Or if you need a little bit of help in those legs, you can also use them for a little bit of weight to begin to allow those legs to open up just a little bit more. Your choice, depending on how you're feeling in this posture, and just again surrendering into our supine butterfly. Just a gentle little reminder as we sink into posture is make sure that you're relaxing your glutes, relaxing your core, relaxing tension in your jaw or your brows, where you're kind of holding, muscle guarding, or firing when you don't need to fire these muscles. Just a gentle reminder to let them go, especially in a position like this as we're opening up our inner thighs. Our glutes may want to activate to keep the legs lifted a little bit more. And if that's the case for you, to get your glutes to relax, you can take your hands rather than on the top to push the legs further. You can just gently press underneath to kind of remind your glutes that they're not needed. You're not going upstairs, you're not doing wall sits, you're not doing chair pose. And so you can also give yourself a nice little shake, allow them to relax. And also with this little engagement of your fingers, you let your glutes know that you got it, your legs are good, your inner thighs will open as they feel comfortable. Again, you can also put blocks underneath instead of your hands if you need a little extra support than just the tops of those fingers. And we'll take 3 more breaths here, allowing the body to sink in with some of these changes. And from here, reach your hands down to the knees if they're not there already. Allow your inner thighs to passively relax by pulling your legs together. On that exhale, hug your knees into your chest, bring your forehead to your knees one last time. And we'll make our way to seated however you get there. If you'd like to rock up or roll to the side and press yourself up, no wrong way. Take a moment to press yourself up to seated. Take a moment to get centered, to avoid becoming too dizzy, and then come into that comfortable sit for a moment. And just take a nice seated meditation. Closing your eyes if that feels good. We'll actually move into our Nadi Shodhana, which is our nostril breathing. We'll take our right hand, and unfortunately I'm not going to mirror you for this because I will get my left and right middle finger and all my fingers mixed up. So from here, we're going to take our right hand, place the peace fingers at our third eye center just between the brows. Again, close your eyes if this is okay for you. We'll have our ring finger on our left nostril and our thumb on our right, not pressing pressure right now, just allowing the fingers to rest there in the rest position, and breathe normally 3 times. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Last inhale. Alright, and from here, gently press your thumb onto that right nostril. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the left. Once you complete that exhale, ring finger closes the left nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Thumb closes the right. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the left. And keep switching. Complete inhale and exhale at the same nostril before you switch. And we'll take one more breath on each nostril. We'll end on the left. And after that exhale, release your ring finger and thumb. Keep your third eye center engaged with the peace fingers pressing between the brows. And we'll take 3 inhales and exhales. And on that next exhale, allow your right hand to rest on your knees. You're welcome to keep those eyes closed and just breathe 3 times after our nostril breath. And flicker open those eyes. We'll make our way to our child's pose. However you get there, big toes to touch, knees wider than your mat, and exhale, sink that chest down. Since we do have our blocks nearby, you're welcome to grab a block, rest your hands on top. Allow more space and opening in the upper back as your chest presses closer to your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift, remove that block if you need. And exhale, we'll rise into our box, shoulders stack over those wrists, hips over those knees. We'll move into some cat-cows, get some fluidity in our spine, and begin to wake up our spine a little bit more. So on that inhale, belly sinks down, shoulder blades go back and away. Exhale, curl, navel to spine, top of the spine to the ceiling in the cat. And continue to flow at your own pace with your own breath through your cat-cows. We'll take one more complete breath. Coming back to that neutral spine, next inhale, and we'll make our way seated. Extend those legs out, give them a nice little shake for Paschimottanasana, deep seated forward fold. On our inhale, peace fingers high. Exhale, peace fingers wrap around those big toes. Keep that chest and thigh connection. This is about the low back. Our hamstrings are secondary in this posture. So reach that heart forward first, then begin to push the heels away. On your next inhale, slowly begin to lift up. Give your legs a nice little shake. From here, we're opening up our quads with our half heroes position. So I'll start first with my left leg. On our next inhale, we'll roll to our right hip. Swing your left leg around. I like to tuck my toes versus having your toes point out. It kind of depends on your ankle. So this is our starting position with our left heel hugging our left hip, our knees as close together as possible. An option to stay here. You can start to feel the quad beginning to lengthen. If it is okay to lower back, you're welcome to lower back. You can take a block with you to maybe bring your mat a little bit closer. You can have blocks on either side or just one. You can lower down to those forearms, taking a little curvature in our lumbar spine. And for full extension, you can lower all the way down, and furthermore, take your hands back behind you. Allowing the quad to open. If this is too much for you, you can go in from your box into your crescent lunge and take a moment to either sit into a runner's lunge with your hands on the earth, on your mat, framing the foot, or you can come up with your hands up and make it a little bit more of a balanced, strengthening posture, taking your hands off your mat. If hero's pose is too much for you, that is another posture we frequent in this class, something you're familiar with, that still opens up the quad and hamstring. Remember, the knee that is down on the earth, that is what you are stretching. So if I'm going to switch sides and it's not the same side, just remember that whatever knee is down is the one that you are focusing on. If you do choose to enter a quad stretch from the box, and that's perfectly fine. Tuning in and listening to your body, as always, is super important. And we'll hang here, sink in, surrender, breathe. One more breath. If you are in your hero's posture, use your elbows to press into your mat so you're not using any of your back muscles or your core too much. Then rise up to the hands. We'll all take a moment here. If you're in your box, bring that leg back. Give yourself a break. Get some movement if you need. From our hero's pose, shift to that right hip. Extend the left leg out. Give them a nice little shake. This nice little shake, if you are in your box, remember to do some of those hip circles to release the hip that was balancing the most. And then we'll take whatever variation you've been doing onto the other side. So from here, shifting my weight over to my left hip, swinging my right leg around. Remember, my heel is as close as I can to my sit bones, knees together as best as possible. I like to tuck my foot underneath rather than extending and placing it out to the wall, more perpendicular to my mat. I like to keep it parallel and tucked in. If you are in your box, remember just the knee that is on the mat is the one that you will be stretching. The knee you take forward is more of that stability strength. So for our hero folks, as you feel warm, slowly begin to lower down. First to the forearms, maybe two blocks. Take a moment here, allow that quad to release and lengthen. And slowly make your way all the way down for an option. Do the full extension of the posture. Like any posture we hold in this class, take a moment to always connect with the breath, your body, your mind, but also a reminder to just come into that intention. Repeat it if it's an inner mantra, if it's something you want to achieve, just to allow that muscle memory to really sink in and allow that intention to have its effect, to have its purpose, to have its moment to shine. Just saying it in the beginning of class doesn't always reinforce to the end of class. So it's nice to have that moments of reminders, of repetition, of muscle memory. The same thing as practicing certain things, like if you're walking and hiking, and the more you add miles, what used to be difficult, that first mile when you were starting out, is no longer difficult. Maybe it's that third or fourth mile. The same thing with our intention. The more we practice, it becomes a little bit easier the longer that we do practice, that we do remind ourselves of that intention. It now becomes second nature, and it becomes fluid from the beginning moment we step on our mat to even after we leave. That intention now becomes part of us and something that we can remind ourselves each moment of the day, which is kind of the beautiful thing that yoga teaches. It provides us that centering and connection to a purpose, our mind and our body, and that's just what makes you beautiful and unique. So with all that, we'll rest here in a little bit more stillness. Two more breaths. And from here, if you're in your hero's posture, remember to first use your elbows to press yourself up, take some strain off that lower back, then slowly press yourself all the way up. If you are in your box, take that leg back, take some hip circles on the opposite side. Half heroes, lengthen that right leg, give your legs a nice little shake. Point and flex the toes, roll throughout those ankles, kind of taking a moment just to loosen the joints, especially if we have been collapsed in on them. And from here, we'll open up into a wide V. So if you are in your box, join us back down into seated. We'll open up the legs into a wide V. Flex those toes, swoosh in. Grab a block if you need to bring that earth a little bit closer to you. And we'll take a nice little wide leg forward fold. So on your inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, leading with the heart first. Roll down towards that block. So if you were in your half heroes, this is a nice little counter posture to begin to lengthen that lumbar spine back because it was curved, and more of its natural curvature, but might be a little bit more. So it's nice to re-lengthen. And then also coming back into the beginning of what I told you is focusing on the lower back, but you may find that we're not just doing twists and things because, like I mentioned in the beginning, our psoas and hip flexor, our glutes, our hamstrings, even our calves and feet all influence the lower back. So really taking a moment to focus kind of on a lower body flow. On your next inhale, gently begin to press yourself up. Stay in that wide leg V for a moment. And slowly begin to bend those knees. Bring the knees, ankles, and toes together. We'll take some gentle windshield wipers. Taking your hands back behind you, dropping your knees to one side. Gaze follows in the opposite. And just flow with your breath. Taking some windshield wipers with a gentle spine articulation, looking the opposite side. And we'll take one more in each direction. Bringing the knees back to center from here. We'll actually lower all the way down to our back. If you'd like to take a core challenge, know that that is always and forever available to you. Taking your feet long, hands rest by your side, palms facing up, and we'll lower vertebra by vertebra. If you're already down, I'll meet you there. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath, we'll begin to walk our heels to our sit bones. Exhale, hug our knees to our chest. Bring our forehead to our knees. From here, we'll move into our happy baby. From here, peace fingers, grab those big toes on the inside of our feet. Slowly lower, open the bottoms of the feet up to the ceiling, knees down towards the shoulders in our happy baby. You're welcome to take your hands to the outside if that feels a little bit better. I like to stay on the inside. From here, you're welcome to rock this out side to side for a little bit of movement. Enjoy the stillness. You can play with lengthening one leg, lengthening the other, lengthening both. Kind of exploring your happy baby and what feels good for you. We'll take 2 more breaths. And from here, on that next exhale, begin to bring the heels and toes together. Then the knees will slowly drop our heels down to our sit bones. Come and tap our feet. Just get some blood flow back down to those toes. From here, lengthen that left leg long. On our exhale, hug your right knee into your chest. We'll take a supine twist. On your exhale, bring that right knee across. Open up that right arm, gaze follows. On your inhale, gently begin to unravel. Hug that right knee back into your chest. Take a breath. And next inhale, lengthen that right leg to meet the left. We'll take this on the other side. Make sure you're nice and stable in that base on your supine. And then on your exhale, hug the left knee into your chest. Take a moment here. And then moving into your supine twist on your exhale, bring the left knee across your body. Open up that left arm, gaze follows. from here on your inhale, come back to center, hug your knee into your chest. Take a moment here. And next, inhale, lengthen your left leg to meet your right, give your legs a nice little shake. My intention with the blocks was to kind of sneak in a fish posture. But from here, just taking a moment to surrender into your Shavasana fully. Seems like the new direction I'm headed, but because we do have our blocks and you would like to take fish pose, please know that that's what I wanted to throw in and why I brought blocks into our practice. But again, we'll just take a moment to surrender into one of those two postures of your choice. Coming back into your intention, slowness and calmness of your breathing. Just honor, witness, and reflect. I feel like those words so beautifully sum up the end of a practice. Just to feel, to be, to exist, and to surrender into this amazing feeling that your body, your mind, your heart, and your breath created by joining this flow and just by being you. And there's no rush to join me, but when you are ready, we'll slowly wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes, find some movement in those extremities. Walk the heels to our sit bones, roll to your left side, and take 3 breaths there. And if you're joining me, press yourself up to seated on the inhale. Find a comfortable sit once more, and we'll close out our practice. Inhale deep, inhale, gather the energy in the room. Take your hands high. On your exhale, bring those prayer hands down to your heart center, our place of love and connection. As always, from this deep place of love, I'd like to thank you all for joining me on the mat. It was an honor to guide you virtually through your flow. I hope your lower body, and especially your back, feels a little lengthened, a little bit more loose, and more mobile, most importantly. And I hope that whatever you achieved on your mat, feeling-wise, that this yoga bliss carries on the rest of your week. The light within me honors, acknowledges, and celebrates the beautiful light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you.